That's the hook that'll get somebody. 10x Secrets and talk about, hey, Russell.
It's the hook that'll get somebody. Hey everyone, and welcome to Nicole Reacts, where I, Nicole, react to online marketing guru trainings that I find on the internet. My qualifications for snark and commentary are that I've owned a marketing company for the last 14 years, working with approximately 500 clients in that time, including marketing 2 of my non-marketing related businesses. So I've both been a client needing marketing services and provided marketing services as a marketing person. Now, before we get started, you'll notice the geologic map is gone, and that's because I'm in a much smaller room now that cannot contain how great it is. So I've redone my background, and I like my new spot. Got some new lighting and stuff like that. So yeah, this is what it's going to be like from now on. Now, if you want to play along with the fun, feel free to download the Nicole Reacts bingo card, which is linked in the description below, and just see how many of these that we can tick off in today's reaction video. So today's person is Russell Brunson. You may know him as the founder of ClickFunnels. You may also know him as a generally sketchy person. I'll link to people who have covered this more extensively than I have. But I will say, in reacting to this particular video that we're going to react to today, a lot of videos he's driving. And you know how much I hate it when people record while they're driving. So Russell Brunson's whole thing, besides very bad videography, which we'll see in a minute, at least he's not driving, is that he wants you to use, lead generation, sales funnels on landing pages kind of thing. So most of his content is about sales and about hooks and about optimizing a funnel, that kind of thing. So today's video is called Why I Throw Out So Many Hooks. It is 11 minutes and 50 seconds long. Let's get started. This is legit the start to the video. I did not pause him in an unflattering thing. This is the start of the video. Okay, just throwing that out there.
What's up, everybody? This is Russell Brunson. Welcome to Marketing Secrets Podcast. I learned
all these videos, by the way, that he films. If you go to his channel, it's for a podcast, so I get that video is kind of secondary, but he self-films himself in such a way where he's like moving around all the time. And I was going to react to a longer video that he had, but the idea of watching this for longer than 11 minutes made me want to gouge my own eyes out. So we're going to do this one. But just know that I did not pick a video where he's doing this. I looked at 15 of his videos. He was doing this sort of self-filming, moving around crap in all of them. So let's continue.
Something really interesting about myself tonight, and I want to share with you guys.
So the big question is this: how are entrepreneurs like us, who didn't cheat and take on venture capital, we're spending money from our own pockets, how do we market in a way that lets us get our products and our services and the things that we believe in out to the world and yet still remain profitable? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. My name is Russell Brunson, and welcome to Marketing Secrets.
See, the fact that he put so much production into the Guru trailer only to lie on his living room floor and shake with the camera is kind of weird to me. But anyway, Guru trailer.
Hey everyone, hope everything's going amazing for you guys. Today was Sunday, had an awesome day at church and the kids, and it was really, really neat. And
I feel like sometimes people mention their involvement in church or being like an attentive father or certain other things to kind of stand in for them being a good person. Maybe I'm just being paranoid, but yeah. Anyway, like I said, I'll link to resources below if you're wondering why I think this about him versus just assuming that he's just casually mentioning it.
You guys know, if you've been following, I don't know, everyone's plugging different spots, different places, but Thursday I did a really cool thing. I took a day of work off and I tried to read the entire Book of Mormon in a day, which is awesome. I podcasted about it over at bookofmormonchallenge.com. If you want to go listen to that podcast, you can go and listen to it. And then Friday, I did a training. And so the training was for everybody who had who'd gone to the 10X GrowthCon event, Grant Cardone's event. And
yeah, Grant Cardone. See, these gurus all self-reference each other. So Guru referencing another guru. Check that off your list too.
If you guys were there, you saw at the event. I did a presentation and made not 90 million. That'd be cool. $3 million, 90 minutes, setting all sorts of records, and it was really, really cool, right? And then the next day, I got up on stage and we did a bonus where if anyone signed up before I left, that basically we were going to let them. I was going to do a workshop where I walked them through exactly what I did and how I did it and all that kind of stuff. So that workshop I actually did on Friday, which was really cool. I thought it was going to be about 3 hours long. I ended up going for 6.5 hours. I don't know. I just get excited and I can't stop talking.
Oh my God. Can you imagine attending a workshop that you think is going to be 3 hours long and getting sucked into a 6.5 hour presentation? Whew. If you sat through it, congratulations.
And sharing, and it's just a lot of fun. So hopefully you guys are okay if I over deliver. But it was cool. And then obviously immediately afterwards, I'm like,
talking longer doesn't mean you're over delivering. You can sometimes deliver a good amount of content in a short period of time. So talking longer doesn't mean you're doing more. Just saying.
Excited to go and try to turn this into an offer and to sell it. And I bought 10xsecrets.com and I'm like, okay, I'm going to put this in the offer and this and this and the training. And this is, and like my whole brain's going crazy with this whole process. And then part of me's like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I creating another offer, a new front end, another product? Like, maybe it's I have a problem. Maybe I got a funnel addiction. Maybe a little all those things. I don't know. But what was interesting is I actually this weekend thought a lot about it. I don't know. It's fun. I love reading the Facebook comments of people in our groups and just especially like just hearing people's success stories.
I thought he was going to say, I love reading the Facebook comments. But when he said in our groups, I was like, okay, I get that. But I thought he was talking about liking to read Facebook comments. And I'm like, who likes that? That's like a really hard soul crushing job, but in his own groups, okay, got it.
And stuff. And there's this really interesting pattern this weekend for me as I was like just scrolling through stuff. Is so many people told me like, oh, for me, Russell, was when I read the .com secrets book. That's when it clicked. Or, oh, for me, it was when I was at this event and you said this, and that's when everything clicked. Well, for me, it was, and like people sharing like what it was for them that made it all click for them. And when it clicked, then the business took off, right? And made me start thinking about like what were the pivotal parts in my journey, like where something clicked and it was like transitional shift, you know. And twice this week I did trainings for the 2 Comma Club X coaching program where I shared something that had been shared other places. I just shared differently and had different stories around it, stuff like that. And same thing, people were like, oh, that time it clicked. Like now I understand where I'm going. And so you never know when you're sharing your message, like which one's going to click with which people, right? Like that's why I keep telling my stories and my things over and over and over and over and over again, because you never know like when it's going to click for that person who's there.
I agree. Sometimes you have to sort of frame your story or your product offer or whatever in a way that the person watching it can identify with. So like if you learn that, I started my business when I was 27, you might be like, oh, well, I'm 27 or I'm 28. Like, okay, like, that gives me, I'm sort of identifying with the story on that level. I could say that I started it, from my 220 square foot apartment. And you could be like, oh yeah, I live in a really small, whatever. I'm just saying that, if you tell your story and you have detail in it, people are going to identify with different details of your story. So, and also, yeah, as a teacher, sometimes I would explain something in a couple of different ways because, I do it one way and most students would get it. And then there'd be a couple students ask me questions and then I would be like, okay, how can I explain this differently so that they get it? And so I think when you really know your material or when you really know your products, you can talk about them in different ways. So it makes sense. I identify with this aspect of the video, which is that you never quite know what you're going to say that's going to help someone understand a concept or, put the pieces together.
There. And sometimes it's repetitive for some people, and other times it's like the thing that makes it click. I started thinking about this I was so excited about creating software, and then I was like bummed about it because I'm like, oh, why am I doing this? Like the last thing in the world I really need right now is more money, right? And I'm like, what is the reason? Like, why am I so excited about doing this? And then it kind of hit me, and I was like, I think the reason why is I know that like that training was the newest one.
Oh my God, can you please just get a smartphone tripod? They're like $10. This shaky video. I'm so glad that we're almost a third of the way through this now.
I done it. It was updated. It was 6.5 hours. I like put my heart and my soul into it because I wanted to over deliver. It was really cool. I actually went through and like um, I taught like the foundation of like offer creation because that's key to the webinar. And I taught the perfect webinar, and then I went through the actual presentation from 10x, and I like push play and I watched and I paused. I'm like, this is why I did that. Push play, pause. This is why I did this, and I kind of went through the whole thing. And it was interesting. I even found out a couple new nuances to the perfect webinar that I didn't even realize until I was like pausing myself, and I was like, oh wow, I did that thing. I didn't even realize that. So sharing those things, talked about the price marinade, like a whole bunch of cool things I've never really talked about before. But I was like,
The price marinade. Okay, I just tried to look up price marinade because I was really curious about it. And it just keeps bringing me up marinades. So I'll see if I can find it after this broadcast. I don't want to waste any more time looking for something that might not exist. But got my attention, Russell.
thinking about this, like my between our email list and everything, there's like over 1 million entrepreneurs that follow me, right? And when I put something out, like it, because not all of 1 million are still active, like excited and like engaged, right? If they were, I'd have 1 million people using ClickFunnels right now, which we're working towards that, but we don't have it yet, right? I think we're at 61,000, which is pretty awesome still. But but I was like, of those 1 million plus people, like my job as a marketer is to like re-engage them and then recommit them, and hopefully this time give them the aha, right? So I re-engage them by making a new hook, right? I talked in the last podcast about hook, story, offer, right? So I need a new hook to get them re-engaged, right? Because if I just keep selling the
Sorry, I love cats now. I can't. Excuse the meowing.
exact same thing, it's gonna be hard to keep getting, right? But you look at this, like think about this. So like I have perfectwebinarsecrets.com, which is like the script and CD of me teaching the perfect webinar, right? Expert Secrets is me teaching the perfect webinar in way more detail. Secrets Masterclass, which part 2 Common Club X, the old fat event was me teaching the perfect webinar. This was me teaching the perfect, like it's me teaching it, but it's like the concepts, like the actual not the content's not the same, but it's similar, right? But it's repackaged in different ways where it's like perfect webinar, those who are looking for webinar, that was the thing that like that's the hook that'll get them. Expert Secrets, I talk about that way, that's the hook that'll get somebody. 10x Secrets, I talk about, hey Russell,
It's the hook that'll get somebody. I don't know if he's just going to keep repeating himself or not, but it seems like a humble brag. Like, I've done this presentation a bunch of times, I've made a bunch of money every time I've done it, and yet I do it differently every time. Well, I mean, I would hope that your experience presenting the material before, that feedback you've gotten on previous presentations, I would hope that the content would evolve naturally.
made $3 million in 90 minutes. Like that hook is gonna get a lot of people because it's sexy, it's interesting, it's unique. Like the hook will grab a different segment or like re-engage people, right? Then like I honestly wish like I could just like that 6 hour thing, I wish I could stream it to everybody for free. Problem is I know is that people get it for free, they don't do anything with it, right? And so
Is that the problem? You don't want to present it for free because people won't do anything? Come on, you could just do it. Like you said at the beginning of this video, you have enough money.
that's why we make an offer. So I make a funnels because then I'm hooking them first, then I'm charging them to which then the physical act of them pulling a credit card out recommits to themselves that they're going to go down this path again.
Okay, so I think this is kind of bullshit because I think there's other ways to hold people accountable or to create a space for somebody to do something with information other than making them pay money. I think what you could say is that they have to use this information to help somebody else, right? That would be one way to do it. So you're going to learn this information and you have to take this information and teach it to someone else or help someone else implement this, right? That would be one way. Another way would be that they would have to set a goal. So with this information I am going to get 1,000 more Instagram followers, and here's where I'm at right now. And then have somebody from the group sort of follow up, a month later or something and say, hey, have you gotten that yet? Hey, have you gotten that yet? And sometimes people knowing that someone is going to check in on them are more likely to do it. Sometimes you can create a physical accountability. Like for me, I've recently hired a personal trainer and I have to go to the gym to work with this personal trainer. So when I was traveling, he was like, hey, do you want me to make you a workout? And I was like, no, I need to physically go in and do it. Like that's part of my, so he could create a physical space, you could say, hey, like, I'm offering this program for free, host a watch party in your community, with 10 people at it, and I will send you the stream. And so there's that physical accountability of everyone being together in one room. I'm just saying there's ways to create accountability without making someone pay money. So, like, this is just a excuse.
Right? So I hook them, I recommit them, and then hopefully this time I give them the aha that's the thing. Like, that's the one. That's the one that sometimes if you've gone, like, you've studied.
Recommit them, get them to pay again, and then hopefully this time they'll get it. Do you really want them to get it that time, or do you want them to keep paying you for every new program you come up with? I'll let you decide on that.
Somebody's stuff 2 or 3 or 4 times. You go to church, you're right, every Sunday for 20 years of your life, and all of a sudden, like, boom, that Sunday, that person, that whatever it was, you were ready right then, right? And so for me, I feel like that's really part of this business, right? Like, the money, and if you guys aren't at this point yet, I'm going to break it to you. The money is not that exciting moving forward. Like, there comes a point when, like, the house is paid off, everything's taken care of. Like, it's just not exciting, the money part, but the
I just think this kind of stuff is always really condescending to the people watching it who might be struggling. There's a study, I'll link to it below, that I think if you make $70,000 or $75,000 a year, if your income goes up from that, you're not any happier. And it kind of makes sense, right? Like, once you have your needs taken care of, there is a lot of happiness that comes from, I don't know, not struggling paycheck to paycheck. But at a certain point, there's like enough money and your happiness doesn't keep going up as you get more money. That anecdotally makes sense. But saying this like, when everything's paid off, it's just not exciting anymore. Come on.
impact is like fires you up, right? And so it's like, I'm hooking them. I'm trying to, like, I have this million plus entrepreneurs, plus everyone else on Facebook, plus the entire world. I'm like throwing these offers out to try to hook them, right? And get them to make a commitment. So they commit themselves by actually paying for something. And my goal is this time is to give them the aha, the thing, like, where they're like, this is the one. And I know that 10x Secrets is going to do that for some people, and I'm excited. The other reason why we charge them in funnels is because we can get to more people, right? That we can pay for advertising. Now the hook gets out to more people, which hopefully gets from people, brings them in, gets them to commit to themselves, and then
Why can't you use your excess money to advertise future programs? Yeah, also, okay, leave in the comments if you've learned one thing that changed your entire life. I can point to an interaction I've had which has changed my life or something like that, but I cannot think of one piece of knowledge that I learned that changed everything about my entire business or my entire life for that matter. So if you have experienced otherwise, please leave it in the comments because I'm genuinely curious if there was some aha moment that completely turned your failing business around or something like that.
hopefully that'll be the one that gets them and just re-engages people, reignites people who have been on and off and on and off, on and off. Like, hopefully that this will be the one for them, right? So anyway, that's why it was kind of cool. Maybe it gave me like comfort and like, oh, it's okay for me to do this. It's not like I'm doing it for that reason, right? Like, because I want more people to be like, oh, 10x Secrets, that was the one. That was the one that gave me the clarity I needed and the permission to do my thing, right? Or maybe it's Ignite Your Funnels coming out later this year. Or maybe it's the next thing, Right now, Julie Stoyan and I are working on 10 books, 10 front-end books to bridge the gap. We identified 10 sub-markets, so basically these ClickFunnels. And so we're trying everything in our power, like bridge that gap. So we're making webinars and training and success stories and like, this is part of our big project mother funnel, and then anyway.
Can you imagine writing 10 books at the same time and how chaotic that would be? I don't know. I'm not an author, but that seems like a lot of fragmentation. But
Julie's writing 10 different books, one for each segment. Like, here, if you're e-commerce, this is how you use ClickFunnels, how you use a funnel. If you're business professional, if you're a freelancer, if you're
okay, that makes more sense. It's not 10 separate books. It's like, yeah, okay. That makes more sense than to be doing all 10 of them at once, I guess.
E-com, if you're a business, whatever it is, if you're in retail, like here's how you use.
I like all I can think of is e-com and retail. If you're a service-based business, if you're a local business, if you're a B2B business. Like, even I can think of more examples than
Funnels,
him.
like it's bridging the gap. My goals, like all these different offers are putting out there for these segments. It's like want some of the segments to like get the aha bag. Oh, that's why I use a funnel. Like I had one of my buddies literally last night, and I don't need. It's funny. It's a friend from not business world, and I always forget people see me on Facebook. But anyway, he texted me. He's like, "Hey man, so do you do stuff for service businesses?" And I'm like, my whole body of work, everything I've ever done for the last decade of my life worked for service businesses, but because it specifically say service
Well, yeah, because you keep saying e-commerce in your example, so I could understand that. Maybe you pivoted to e-commerce and he's just checking in.
businesses, they don't know it, right? And like they can't bridge that gap. So I'm on it. Like I wish the book was done. So like, yeah, get the book. It'll tell you exactly how to bridge the gap, and you go build funnels for your service business. But we don't have it yet. So that's why I keep doing it. In case you're wondering why I keep putting out offers, is because I'm trying to hook people, get them to recommit to themselves, and hopefully have that one be the one that gives them the aha that makes them move. So I'm curious for you guys, when was it that which was the thing, the product, the idea, the the thing that gave you the aha, that gave you like that was the thing? Or have you had it yet? Are you still looking for that? Was it a video? Was it a YouTube video? Was it a podcast? Was it a product you bought? Like there's a reason why I'm preaching like crazy around the clock for you guys, is because I'm hoping and waiting and wishing that each of you guys will get that aha from one of these things, give you the thing you need. Like that was the piece. That was the piece I was missing. So if you wonder why I publish so much, that's why I love it. And the feedback, like I literally just scroll through Facebook feed and just like liking everything. It just makes me so happy to see all the positive stuff. So anyway, that's about it. I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed tonight because I'm getting up at 5 tomorrow because this week's gonna be so much fun. Sleeping becomes a nuisance. Have you guys noticed that? If not, like you're having enough fun yet. It's like I gotta sleep, but I gotta wake up early so I can like start the party. I'm getting up at 5 tomorrow because I got my next episode of the Book of Mormon Challenge.com podcast. I'm recording in the morning, then I'll be lifting with Dave and with James, and then when the party starts, the week begins. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. Anyway, appreciate you all. Thanks for listening. If you are on YouTube, please click on the like, subscribe, comment, all that kind of stuff. I do actually, every YouTube comment does come to my email, so I do read all those, which is kind of fun. And if you're listening to the podcast, please go to iTunes and like, comment, subscribe. If you like, comment, and subscribe in the past, please do it again because iTunes bumped us for a little while, so we're rebuilding the channel, and so we may have missed your comments. So please come comment again. Appreciate you all. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Why did iTunes bump them? Okay, it's weird that his podcast got deleted. That's weird. I clicked around a little bit and I couldn't really find why, but I know from Rachel K. Albers that this guy is really good at making sure things are scrubbed from Google, let's just say. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't think iTunes just yanks podcasts off the air unless they're problematic. I didn't do a content to shilling ratio this video because this whole thing was him talking about his program. So this whole thing was like a giant shill about why he does so many hooks. And so to summarize, we learned two things in this broadcast. We learned that many hooks re-engage your audience. Like, so you put multiple things out there, it's going to re-engage different hooks are going to re-engage different parts of your audience, and they will recommit their money and hopefully in buying your program get the aha moment they need. I don't know why you wouldn't want repeat customers. Kind of sounds like you would, but the other thing that he kind of said at the end was that many hooks give you validation from your commenters, which apparently he really appreciates. So I thought we could do is just skim the comments a little bit for people's aha moments, right? Because he asked people to leave them in the comments. So let's just take a look at some of the top comments. Don't worry, we're not going to look at all 95. I've received so many aha moments from you, I don't know where to begin. Okay, so nothing specific. Your information is easy to understand. Okay, that's not anything specific. Thank you so much for the content. Again, nothing specific. I have an aha moment every time you listen to what you're saying. Okay, so excited for everything. All right, nothing specific. This is my second time through the training. Finding the one hook that clicks with who you're... thank you so much. Nope. Okay. The last thing I need is more money. I definitely want to be in that position. Okay. So let's see if... can't wait for the... Love it. Makes total sense. Okay. So the reason we went down that road is that not only does he not have any specific examples himself about aha moments he's had reviewing his own content, but even the commenters, when asked specifically to leave a comment about their aha moment, can't even say anything specific. The one specific thing that was said was when he said, I don't need any more money. And the commenter was like, I want to be in that position. But that wasn't him teaching anything. That wasn't Russell Brunson teaching anything. That was him just bragging about how rich he was. So I don't know. I think if you want to learn about sales funnels, you can learn it from somewhere else, because as he's established, he doesn't need the money. So why give him any more of yours? So yeah, that's all I got for Russell Brunson today. If you watch any of his other podcast videos, they are not any more watchable than that one. But yeah, I guess anybody can have a podcast, him included. So if you like what you see, I hope you consider subscribing. We do a new reaction video every Friday and post it to the YouTube channel. And also it goes on our website. If you want to see past episodes, check out the Nicole Reacts playlist on YouTube, or check out our blog archives where we have the Nicole Reacts content as well. And if you have a specific question or a specific guru you want me to react to, or a specific video even, you can leave it as a comment on this video, or if you're more shy, you can fill out the contact form of the website and we can talk privately there. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day and see you next time. Take care.